It's the Joseph Bristol Show.
Welcome to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. Alright, so on today's episode, I actually want to talk about a few things. But the main thing is we about to go over a news clip that I was watching the other day about water wars. And I thought it would be something that we should all listen to just see that this climate change thing is a real thing. Not only is it a real thing, but moving forward into our future, like, things are seriously about to change. But before we even get into all of that, one of the first things I want to talk about is this guy, Governor Ron DeSantis. This guy's the worst governor ever, and we really need to vote this guy out of power. I'm very sad that Andrew Gillum didn't win the election, even if later on he got caught doing the drugs with the tranny and all that other stuff. But I mean, come on, people do drugs. It's not that serious. It wouldn't have, and to me, he only did all of that because he lost, and probably he didn't expect to lose. He was thinking he was gonna win, and then when you lose, it's kind of like everything just hits you all at once. You know what I mean? But we're not gonna get into why he was doing what he was doing. Let me tell you why Governor DeSantis is the worst. This guy just signed in a new law. It's called HB1, I believe it is, and basically, he's making it a crime to protest. His intentions are to lock up people for protesting, be able to charge them with felony criminal charges, put them in jail, fines, all kinds of stuff. This guy is not, he's not a good governor. This guy is not the guy that we needed as our leader. And I just wanted to talk about this one little law, basically just telling people to look into it for yourself. But this is a problem. Like, this is a problem. And then I wanted to touch a little bit on the crypto crash that just happened, right? So I think it was yesterday. I want to say yesterday or maybe the day before, but basically it was a huge crash and the crypto market just went down. There's a lot of reasons why the price of the cryptos dropped so much. Not just Bitcoin, but a lot of the altcoins. Like, there's a lot of reasons. Turkey banned Bitcoin only because their currency is de-inflating. Like, they're losing value of their currency, and the government is afraid that crypto will basically become their new money, and they don't really want that right now. So, and then I think America is they were just saying that digital currency is not out of the question. Britain is looking into creating their own digital currency. I know Facebook is dropping their digital currency soon. China already has a digital currency that they're trying to use to replace all their paper money. So digital currency is it's on the rise. Crypto is on the rise. But I wanted to touch on it just briefly and basically just, explain to people that now's the time to buy. When you turn on the news and it tells you that the NASDAQ is down 30 points, or it's the biggest down it's ever been, or crypto is down, Bitcoin is down as low as it's ever been. Anytime you hear something is low and it used to be high, you should buy. You want to buy the dip, sell when it's high. So you buy when it's red, you sell when it's green. I get very excited about this because the opportunity for growth is amazing. One of the coins I just want to touch on real brief, I buy a lot of crypto, but one of the coins that I had been talking about a lot on my Snapchat was Mana in ADA, ADA, which is Cardano. And a lot of people talk about Cardano, but I think it was yesterday or last night, Cardano was $1.16, right? That's a huge steal. Cardano has not been $1.16 for months. So to be able to grab it at $1.16, and mind you, it's expected to hit $5, $6 by the end of the year. So if you buy in at $1.16, and let's just say it only goes up to $1.50, you still made a lot of money because you bought in at $1.16. So imagine you put in $200 into that, $100 into that. At $1.16, it shoots up to $1.25, $1.30. You just made a decent amount of money, you know what I'm saying? Off of what, a couple of days, a couple of hours, where you left it in your bank account where you would get 0.05%, which is basically 5 cents for every $100 that you have in there every year. So I just thought that the crypto drop, how the prices fell, was a huge opportunity for a lot of people. I really should have went live yesterday talking about it. I missed out on it. My money's always been tied up. So I'm learning how to short-term invest. I do a lot of long-term investing, put my money in it, leave it there for months and years, and then come back and eat the profit, as opposed to doing what a lot of buyers do. They buy when it's low. As soon as it hits its all-time high, they sell it, and then when it crashes again, that's when they buy back more when it crashes, and then sell when it's high, and just keep doing it like that. So I don't do that, but more power to the people that do. Even the people who's riding on Dogecoin. I got a couple of cousins that have been making some money on Dogecoin. I think everybody knows by now that I don't buy crypto off Robinhood, and I don't think anybody should buy cryptocurrency off Robinhood, because you don't own the crypto. Robinhood owns that cryptocurrency. So I don't really support that. But I will say, with the if you want to know if you own your cryptocurrency, try to send it. If you cannot send the cryptocurrency from one location to the next, it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. So I'm talking Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Robinhood. If you buy Bitcoin on their platform, you should be able to send your Bitcoin to other platforms. If you can't send your coins to other platforms, that means you don't own the coins. That means that it's owned by somebody else. That's why you're not allowed to send it. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're buying cryptocurrencies. Definitely think about buying you a hard wallet. You want a hard wallet. Me personally, I have a Trezor. Right, I have a Trezor. Maybe I might just make a review video on this thing. But I have a Trezor where I keep my cryptocurrencies. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And you know what I mean? Just for safekeeping. So I suggest everybody get a hard wallet. But the last thing is I'm going to be switching up my platforms, right? So I make a lot of my videos, I put them on YouTube, and I'll probably keep doing that. But I'm gonna start using the new social media app. It's called Hyper. I'm gonna actually make a review video on the app, on the features of the app, why I like the app, so on and so forth. So I'll be making a review video on that soon. But they also have a cryptocurrency that you can buy. So I'm not sponsored by them either. I just like the app. I think it's pretty dope. I like the way it looks. It's small, it's growing. So I'm gonna start probably putting more deeper, bigger, longer videos on that app. And more than likely, any type of videos that I make talking about stocks or cryptocurrency, buying and selling, and showing you my portfolio and things like that, I'm gonna put it on the Hyper app. I'm probably not gonna upload those type of videos on YouTube. I'll talk about it, and then you can go and get Hyper and watch the video there, because it kind of gives me more power over what I'm trying to do. The review video is coming soon. Hopefully I can drop that this week. We'll see. But let's get into this news clip about the water wars, because again, to me, this is something that we should all be paying attention to. I'm glad they put it on mainstream media. I actually like this news station. I like these guys. They're pretty good. So let's watch this.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris recently said the quiet part out loud, admitting that while we used to fight wars over oil, the next coveted resource that will cause us to flex our imperial might will be water.
For years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water.
So you mean all those wars weren't about freedom and democracy after all? Tell me more. Also, given that the U.S. is the country starting most of these wars, should this water war comment from the vice president be viewed as a threat? The sad truth is, though, that Kamala Harris isn't describing some far-off future. A deeper look at many of the most fraught tensions and violent flashpoints and brutal human suffering is already being caused by water depletion, drought, and climate change. Let me give you just a few examples here. So in India, farmers have clashed with state authorities in protests that have lasted months over new neoliberal laws put in place by the Modi government. India is a rural nation. Most of the population still earns their living from farming. 60%, in fact, of that population depends on agriculture for their livelihood. The centrality of agriculture to the Indian economy is largely a result of government interventions, which provided subsidies to farmers in order to overcome the hunger crisis of the 60s. Now, Modi is pulling some of those price supports with huge consequences for the hundreds of millions of people who rely on them. Even before Modi's new laws, though, things had not been going well for farmers in India. Just like in the U.S., small farmers have been beset by debt. They've struggled to eke out a living, leading to huge spikes in the rate of suicide. Why? Well, that's where water takes a central role. According to an independent Indian journalist who penned this op-ed for the Washington Post, groundwater has been massively depleted in the states of Punjab and Haryana, known as the breadbasket of India. The two crops dominating the landscape in those regions are rice and wheat, which also happen to be two of the most water-intensive crops. The draining of the aquifer has forced farmers to take on debt to dig deeper and deeper wells. The fear here is that Modi's laws will pull the plug on wheat and rice while providing zero support for any kind of a just transition, all of which will just make a miserable and unsustainable situation far worse, and by the way, far more dangerous. But you don't have to look to India to see water as a major political flashpoint. Right now, the western part of the U.S. is facing down the second worst drought in 1,200 years. Scientists say that's a combination of a natural dry cycle and human-caused climate change. Of course, we've seen over and over again how these dry conditions can spark massive wildfires with devastating effects for all life. But it's also already causing major tensions between indigenous tribes and farmers as these groups fight for water that is essential to their livelihoods and their cultural way of life. According to the Oregonian, for the first time in 20 years, it's possible that the 1,400 irrigators who have farmed for generations on 225,000 acres of reclaimed farmland will get no water at all, or so little that farming would not be worth it. Several tribes in Oregon and California are equally desperate for water to sustain threatened and endangered species of fish that are central to their heritage. The TLDR here is that a single lake feeds the irrigation system relied on by the farmers and is also the spawning ground for several endangered species of fish, which are central to the indigenous nations in the region. Those tribes have treaties that guarantee the protection of their water supply. As drought has become commonplace, there just simply is not enough water to go around, and tensions are extremely high. An influential local farmer spoke to that friction, saying, "I think that the majority of people understand that acts of violence and protest aren't going to be productive, but at the same time, people down here are being backed into a corner." Two desperate groups of people who have done nothing wrong being pitted against each other thanks to decisions made by the wealthy and the multinational companies that have been the primary drivers of climate change. In other places, an excess of water is making life unlivable. One of the factors driving migration from Honduras and Guatemala is a pair of devastating Category 4 hurricanes that struck those countries in rapid succession November of last year. According to the New York Times, months after the hurricanes, houses remain underwater, gaping holes have replaced bridges, thousands of people are still displaced, living in shelters or on the street. Hunger is stalking them. You can see here some of the flooding that devastated communities, triggered mudslides, and left in its wake a trail of absolute human misery with consequences for our own nation and especially, of course, for border towns. People are fleeing these nations because of violence and poverty and desperation. These cataclysmic and likely climate change-driven storms were, for many, the final straw. There are literally thousands of these stories playing out across the globe right now as we speak. Communities pitted against each other, tensions ratcheted up between nations, human misery compounded. The wealthy will secure what they need through money, or as Vice President Harris accidentally made clear, by force. And the poor and working class will be sent to fight and die to make sure of it. Yes, like the oil wars before, the water wars will be fought for the rich and by the poor.
So yeah, water wars. You see what's going on in the world. The world is changing very fast, very rapidly. There's a lot of things that's going to be coming in the next coming years. Technology is definitely taking off, but specifically we have to look at the not only the environment, but like what's going on. Like there's a lot of things happening in the world that's going to be changing not only the lives of people across the water, but you're talking about our own lives here in America and just everywhere. The world is about to change. We're about to go through a dramatic change. So I hope everything works out and we all can stay safe. Y'all remember to wear y'all mask, man. And I don't know why everybody acting like it's not a pandemic. You know, it's still a pandemic. Like we're still in a pandemic. Please, people, wear your mask. You know what I mean? Wash your hands. Stay clean. Stay sanitized. Not just because we're in a pandemic, and not just because cleanliness is next to godliness. In other words, God likes clean, but because being clean is just feels good. When your hands are clean, your mouth is clean, your face is clean, when you're just a clean person, you just feel good. Your spirit feels better. And remember, we are not physical creatures that have a spirit. We are spirits in a physical body experiencing the physical life, but we are in fact spirits. We are not physical creatures. This is not everything. All right, people. So wear your mask, feed your spirit, stay safe, be blessed. Thanks for watching another episode of the Joseph Bristow Show.
Leave a comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe.